Commissioners, would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment, help us to be moved in our decision neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority, and may we use our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Present.
Commissioner Young.
Here.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. Okay, we have, moving into our first public comment portion, Aaliyah, I believe you have something as our Senior Services Coordinator. Oh, Kristen. Okay. I guess I missed that update. Thank you. Kristen, is it green?
It's green, okay. All right. So I'm here today to share a little update on senior services, mostly volunteer services. In April, upcoming, is National Volunteer Week. And this year, to celebrate all of our volunteers, we have created a new promotion to honor all of our volunteers. Hopefully it's going to be up on the screen here. We've created a coupon
page. It's a flyer for our volunteers. There we go. And they were all emailed this, so over 600 senior citizen volunteers and Council on Aging volunteers received this in their email box for the month of April. A lot of them extend actually through September. So these are all coupons for like free admission plus one guest to Lake Metro Parks, free admission to Fine Arts for one of their productions, $4 creamery cash at our favorite Fairport Creamery. Grand River Cellars has half off an appetizer. Lots of wonderful things to celebrate them and thank them as a mode of appreciation for their volunteer service in Lake County. So that was the Lake County Volunteer Network and Council on Aging volunteers. So National Volunteer Week is actually April 17th through the 23rd, but we wanted to make sure they had it in advance. So they had the whole month of April to use their coupons. In July, we will be having our annual volunteer recognition event. The past 2 years, it's been a drive-through due to COVID reasons. So this year, we're really excited to work with the City of Menor, has graciously donated us using their amphitheater. So we will have a live band and the ever so favorite ice cream truck. So the volunteers will have an opportunity to enjoy some live music and ice cream. Again, we're collaborating with the Council on Aging to celebrate that. So we'll have hopefully at least 300 volunteers in attendance for that event. This year, or actually 2021, I did some of our data research, and we had over 300 active volunteers at 70 agencies in the county. So I feel really good about those numbers. We have just over 450 active volunteers, and to think that even with the scare of COVID, 300 of them were very active. And some of the amazing things that they were doing was the mobile food pantry. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. We, every Tuesday, are serving seniors free produce. We had, in 2021, 42 volunteers, 121 distributions, 533 volunteer hours just for the pantry. We assisted the Lake County General Health District with the COVID vaccine hotline. You might remember Sue Huber was here a couple weeks ago. So for 7 months, we assisted the Lake County General Health District with the COVID hotline. 45 volunteers. We filled 247 shifts for that. We also have 3 volunteers at the Lake County Sheriff's Department. We have 6 volunteers at the Lake County Probate Court serving as volunteer guardians for seniors in nursing homes. We have 4 volunteers that are very active with the Prosecutor's Office Victims Assistance Program. And we share 88 volunteers with the Council on Aging Meals on Wheels program. So those are just a couple impactful things that volunteers are doing that are actually directly with other seniors, helping people. You may not know that I'm also in charge of volunteers in a disaster, so I work directly with Joe Busher and his team at the EMA. I've been doing that since 2002. We have about 25 trained and active Citizen Corps volunteers, and I will be hosting a training for all of them. Every year we have a training, so that's May 19th, and we will be doing a dry run drill, and we do the evaluated drill. So I actually manage the public inquiry desk, and we train volunteers to answer that. And in an actual disaster, after the public inquiry desk, if there's a need for another volunteers, like during the floods, we did, a volunteer reception center where we had volunteers come in and help people clean out their homes and things. So we start with public inquiry desk, and we find out what other volunteer needs there are, and we go from there. So that's my 2021 update. Any questions?
Gentlemen?
Mr. President,
Sir.
there's no question that you have made a huge difference, and I don't think that the words thank you are enough for folks who came out, particularly during 2020 and 2021 when many people were afraid to, but the need was so great. When you look at the mobile food pantry, and not the hundreds but the thousands of people who desperately needed that service, when you look at the hotlines that you manned, the jobs you did that no one could be found to, forget afford, no one could be found to do the job. In the labor shortage of today, volunteers are even more important. You can't pay people to do work, but you stepped up to do it for free. But because you care so much about your community, I really think that the words hero or public servant have been overused during the pandemic. Somehow we've all found a way to call ourselves heroes. But volunteers who do nothing but serve their community, whether it's risky to them or not, whether it's easy or not, that is a hero. That is somebody who puts their community in front of themselves regardless of the consequences, and you folks did it. And I think we can't say enough about Kristen Kane and the program she's cultivated. It's not easy to build something like that because there are people who want to help but don't know how. You've given that opportunity to Lake County residents in such a meaningful way. And your efforts are recognized. I mean, the Lake County Mobile Food Pantry through Lake Tran, it's won statewide awards. Mm-hmm. People said, wow, the whole state should be doing things like this. How did you make it possible? How were you able to provide these services? And the answer wasn't a new tax or another government program. It was neighbors helping neighbors. So on behalf of everyone in Lake County, we just want to make sure you know how appreciated the good work, not just that you've done, but that you continue to do is. You've made a huge difference in your community, and on behalf of, like I said, all of Lake County, but certainly our county commissioners, Kristen Kane, to you and your volunteers, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
what you do. Oh, sir, I'm sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about. You I just wanted to say that what you've accomplished is amazing. And you just consider, this isn't just a situation where people get a good feeling one Sunday afternoon and decide to put a flower in their hair and show up at the pantry and hand out cupcakes or whatever for an hour or two and go back home and tell their friends and relatives how much they care and how they were demonstrating that by their standing firm there at the pantry for folks in need. But rather, this is an organized, orchestrated, planned, and well done process countywide of taking caring people that are willing to sacrifice a great deal to make a difference in the community and making their efforts really count through the structure that you've helped build here, through the training that you offer, through the opportunities, and then offering people opportunities that probably are matched for their personalities, background, time. Putting all that together and making the care in people's heart meaningful for our communities as a whole to make not just people feel better momentarily, but make a substantial difference in their lives year in and year out. It's amazing, particularly as Commissioner Plesnick was saying during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations to you and your crew and
Thank you.
everybody involved.
Thank you. Well, make sure you thank a volunteer in the month of April.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, continuing on with that. So do we want to, I'm going to look to you, Jennifer, the certificate, do that along with the other resolution?
Yes, I would see if there's any more public comment, and then we can go on the resolutions.
Yes.
Do that
You
one.
got it. All right, with that, so it's good for our presentations for the moment. Do we have anyone wishing to address the board under public comments, our first public comment portion? Yes, sir.
Brian Massey, Libraries for Citizens, 8196 Rainbow Drive. I just wanted to make the commissioners aware. I'd like to publicly thank the director of the Lake County Telecommunications, Mr. Paul Stefanko, for reaching out to me. He is also on the school board of the Auburn Career Center, and he has agreed to reach out into the community, and I will contact the various groups that I know about, and he's willing to explain the Auburn Career Center's viewpoint on the change in the enrollment selection process. So we're all about transparency. I just want to thank Mr. Stefanko for stepping up and being willing to educate the citizens. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, anyone else wishing to address us in the first public comment portion? Okay, then we'll move on to our agenda items without objection. If we could move agenda item number 16 forward.
Yes, and special resolutions. Resolution proclaiming April 2022 Child Abuse Prevention Month in Lake County.
So moved.
Second. And discussion. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Good morning. This is a special day for Job and Family Services. We're here to talk about April being Child Abuse Prevention Month, and then to honor our Child Advocate of the Year. So as far as April being Child Abuse Prevention Month, this is the time of year when cities and states throughout the country really take a moment to pause and shed light on the devastating impacts of child abuse and neglect. Unfortunately, this happens in Lake County, and we're here today to provide some more information for the commissioners and to the public about how child abuse and neglect does impact us in Lake County. I've invited one of our assistant administrators, Mary Udix, to be here today to talk a little bit more about what we are seeing in our division and across the street at the agency. So,
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Please.
Good morning. As Suzanne stated, we are not immune to child abuse and neglect across Lake County. During the year 2021, we received over 1,900 calls to our hotline concerning children and their families. Many of these families were struggling for what to do in their time of need. It is our role to continue to educate our community and take a stand against child abuse and neglect. And we can do this by reaching out and reminding our friends, our neighbors, our community partners about the red flags of child abuse and neglect. Unfortunately, due to COVID and its uncertainty, we have decided against our annual ceremony. Instead, we are planning to commemorate Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month by passing out wristbands and educational materials to our community partners. We hope you can join us by wearing blue on April 13th. April 13th is National Wear Blue to Work Day, where Americans all over will be wearing blue to support our cause. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, anything?
Mr. President, once again, we would just say thank you for your hard work, and I do know it is the hardest work to see these tragic situations and to respond to them in protecting Lake County's children. No one wants to have to confront that kind of suffering, and in many cases evil, but you do it to protect the children. And it's important that we raise awareness of these issues, because the best way to protect the vast majority of kids is to recognize those red flags and to report them. So if you see something, say something, protect your kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Suzanne, back to you. Under this discussion, did you want to, you touched upon it, our Advocate of the Year. Did you want to
Sure.
blend all that together here?
Yes, that would be great.
Thank you, Ms.
So we're here today to honor the 2021 Child Advocate of the Year, Mr. Doug Battisti. Yes, it is seated to the right. And the Child Advocate of the Year award has been a tradition of Children's Services for several years now. It's an award to honor a community partner who really goes above and beyond the call of duty. The presentation of this award, as you mentioned, typically coincides with April being Child Abuse Prevention Month, as we feel the recipient of this award works hand in hand with our agency to assist in keeping children safe and healthy and thriving in the community. Doug was nominated for this award by our Children's Services Division. Many of our Children's Services staff members are here today to support him. And when they told me about the nomination, I couldn't have been happier. I've had the pleasure of working with Doug for nearly a decade. I can attest to his advocacy for and commitment to children in our community. Our Children's Services Assistant Administrator Joanne Babushak is also here with us today to talk a little bit more about Doug's role in working with our agency and his role over at Crossroads Health.
Good morning. Yes, it is. I am Joanne Babushak, and I am an assistant administrator, and I've been working with the Crossroads Intensive Home Based Services since 2010, but I've been working with Doug for about 9-10 years on that committee, and I can assure you, as Suzanne just stated, we were very joyed to have Doug's name put up there as an advocate. It was unanimous. Doug is a person that goes into the homes for one of our most challenging families and children to keep them safe. So it is fitting that he has been chosen for this award. I can tell you that he is a strong advocate for children and families. He goes above and beyond. He is somebody that I have talked to Crossroads all the time of, can we clone him? Can we get more? He's just so good. And they do go into the most challenging homes in the community, and I can tell you that Lake County is much stronger having Doug as part of this team. I appreciate him greatly for working so hard with the families to keep them safe. These are vulnerable kids that are on the brink of maybe coming into custody or leaving their homes, and he's gone in there 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week to work with these families. Sometimes volatile, sometimes very agreeable to work with Doug, but again, what an advocate, and I am very honored to present him with this Advocate of the Year. You can come up and say things. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Doug.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's truly an honor, and if the council would accept my congratulations to you guys for having Joanne and Suzanne and the incredible staff that they have over there. They do a very challenging work, and Mike Matoney, Shana Jackson, and Amber Thomas giving me the freedom to go into the community and do such a good work. I have learned over the years when I learned about this coming up. I went to the computer and I just Googled mental health advocate, and there were like millions of hits. And I thought, well, Joanne's probably going to ask me to say something. So one of the coachings that I do across the board with everybody I work with is just keep everything short and to the point. No sense in dragging out. Make your point and let's make it happen. And last week, former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright passed. And in reading, just about a little bit of her life, it hit me. My takeaway from that is what I'm going to offer you guys. This is, of course, a paraphrase, but I don't know how many thousands of miles I've walked in other people's shoes doing the job that I do. And it's taken me quite a while to develop the voice to advocate for these families in the ways that not only they need, but the community needs also. And my takeaway from that is, now that I figured out my voice, don't expect me to be quiet about it. Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne, Joanne.
Thank you. Gentlemen, anything you want to add?
Mr. President, in particular, we want to thank you. We want to thank you, Doug, for being such an exemplary advocate for children. We want your voice to be loud and proud as you defend the most vulnerable people in Lake County, and we're grateful for the experiences that you've built over time, because that makes you so effective for them. So we're grateful as well for the chance to honor you today, so that by your example we inspire more people to follow in your footsteps and build their voice as they advocate for our children.
Very good. Okay, if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. All right, now you're never going to get away unless we hand you off this and do the photo op. So, Suzanne, who among your crew would you like to assemble?
Who would you like up here with you?
So Suzanne, could you say a word about the pinwheels?
Sure. So the pinwheels are meant to be an uplifting reminder of the children that we are working with in the community to provide them with a safe environment to reside in Lake County. It's an uplifting reminder of our work with children and families.
Thank you.
Very good.
Could you demonstrate how to use these? It's been a long time.
Been a long time. Getting back in touch with our youth. All right, Madam Clerk, agenda item 1, please.
In the engineer's office, resolution authorizing accepting a construction surety for the Eagle Point subdivision in Concord Township.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution to advertise for bids for Chapel Road and Vrooman Road resurfacing project in Leroy and Madison Townships in Perry Village, Ohio. LCE project number 2022-006. Bid opening April 20th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Choose whichever one you want, Jen.
Clearly in
Got it.
sync. Discussion? Engineer, you want to give a little more background on this part of our paving program?
The project for Chapel and Vrooman Road is a section of these two sections of roads that need to be repaved now. We applied for federal funds for these projects through the NOACA, and it's going to take several years for that funding to come to us. So these roads need to be resurfaced now, and then hopefully we won't have to do a more extensive project down the road. That's the reason why we're doing it.
And while you're here, because I know you're one of the paving experts at the engineer's office on Chapel Road, there's the drying out issue. That seems to be one of the shockers in the neighborhood. Like, wow.
The challenging part of that Commissioner, is that the trees provide shade all the time, and the sun doesn't come in to dry the pavement. We have tried, we are continuing to try to push back the tree canopy, and we did that last year, and we'll probably do some more this year to allow the sunlight to hit the pavement and dry it out. Areas of the pavement that cannot not have sunlight on it, it continues to stay wet, and that's what causes the problems in the area. So that's what we're trying to do.
And that was one of the things as we're talking to the folks in the area, when they start to see, hey, that's right, that is in shade, and that is where the surface course is failing. That's something that really wasn't commonly talked about. So thank you for being one of the people to bring that forward to our community's attention. Little geek things, but it's very real.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Utilities Department, resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with Burgess & Nyepel Incorporated for project management office services for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving final estimate number 5, release of retainage in the amount of $16,274.86 with Davis Diggers Incorporated and accepting a 3-year maintenance bond in the amount of $38,570.90 for Orchard Road Waterline Replacement Project 432W for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution accepting a 3-year maintenance bond in the amount of $41,099.41 for sanitary sewers and $21,818.50 for water lines for Eagle Point Subdivision in Concord Township, job numbers 21-02 and 21-26.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund and Project Fund 595, Aquarius Raw Water Generator Improvements Project 398W.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract in the amount of $740,497 to Zenith Systems LLC for Aquarius Water Treatment Plant Electrical Switchgear and Generator Project 435W.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of an engineering agreement with Stephen Hovansik and Associates Incorporated for the East 357th Street Waterline Project 459W for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In Job and Family Services Department, resolution approving Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers, date of warrant April 8, 2022, in the amount of $87,847.72.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution approving the final dedication plat for Eagle Point Subdivision in Concord Township.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of an agreement between the Lake County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Lake County Sheriff's Central Communications Department and the Village of North Perry Police Department for Central Dispatch and Communication Services.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Sir.
I would just say yet again, as we continue to approve more central dispatch contracts with Lake County communities, we need to thank the Sheriff's Office for having what is the best dispatch center in Northeast Ohio. We've had a recent tour through Lake County mayors and managers. Folks have gotten to see up front how professional the operation is. It's a very stressful job being a dispatcher, You deal with the worst things, you deal with the toughest emergencies, you talk people through, but we have built a lot of good faith and confidence in the Lake County community by having the best technology, the best people, and providing the service at an affordable price to our communities. So a thanks to the sheriff for providing that service to all of Lake County.
Very good. Thank you, sir. If there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $1,447,969.25.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $1,975,675.33.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution advancing cash and transferring appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Very good. This brings us now to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Let's see. Utilities, Randy.
No report today.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Job and Family Services, Suzanne.
No report today, Commissioners.
Thank you, ma'am. County Administrator, Jason.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just a brief update at 9:30 this morning. As the Commissioners know, we held a public work session regarding the progress of soliciting and potentially hiring a design professional for the first phase of the proposed Lake County Public Safety Center, which is the programming phase. Programming is essentially analyzing every nook and cranny of the proposed new facility and putting a plan together on what a set of blueprints will ultimately look like. This is a critical step in any project, including this building, but with a facility of the potential scale, magnitude, and cost, it'll be very critical that we get this part right. So I want to just thank the Commissioners for the past 3 weeks. We've sat in about 10 to 12 hours of fairly intense interviews. I want to thank the Sheriff and Chief Sherwood, Captain Brooks, Chief Barry from Adult Probation, Mark Ifelice, Paul Stefanko. I think I'm forgetting someone. If you guys can help me out, maybe not. Once again, that was our selection committee. So we are to the point that we received 4 firms qualification statements. We received those in December 20th of 2021. Those 9 individuals that I just referenced took the time to review the 4 packets. We decided to interview all 4 firms because, quite frankly, they could all do the job. We then scored individually the 4 firms to get to the top 2 firms, which were then interviewed a second time last week for another 2.5 hours per firm. And then today's discussion that was publicly advertised, posted on the website, was simply that, a discussion on what the committee felt pros and cons of the 2 finalists are, what attributes they will bring to the table, what's their timing on a project, and so on. So I will receive the scoring sheets from the 9-member committee by the first of the week, and my goal is to have a signature file correspondence to the Board of Commissioners for consideration next week on potentially entering contract negotiations with said firm for, I'll just reiterate, for the programming phase only at this point in time. Mr. Hackman and PMC Consultants, who's helped guide us through this process thus far, have already hashed out a good bit of what a contract will look like. I'd say way more, probably 95%. No major hurdles. Assuming we select the winning firm, that will be issued to them for their consideration, deliberation, and contract negotiations to continue moving this forward. So I want to particularly thank the Commissioners for getting us thus far in the process. And I'll have more information for you next week.
Very good.
Thank you.
Anything else for our Administrator?
Mr. President?
Sir.
I would just say that the hard work that the Sheriff's Department, the commissioners, and all of our partners in this have been putting in over the past several months reflect our commitment to law enforcement in Lake County of maintaining the high standard of protection and safety that we've always enjoyed in our community. The Ohio Revised Code does require us to have available a jail facility subject to minimum standards, but the interviews that we're doing now are to make sure that we have a facility that will last for decades to come, that will be the most affordable for the taxpayer, and will allow the sheriff to continue the exemplary service that he's always provided with his incredible deputies and staff. So I am very grateful to everyone who's been putting in the time, the work, and the effort, yourself included, to make sure that we move with all speed ahead, because with supply chain issues, inflation, and interest rates, we've been warned and advised many times that even a month's delay on the project has a rough cost of $500,000, so a month's delay is very expensive to the taxpayer, which is why, while we're being deliberate, we're moving with all deliberate speed.
Thank you. And I remembered who I forgot was Mr. Gills, who helped us from lend a professional ear on the engineering side and help us ask some of the right questions that maybe folks like myself didn't have the skill set to ask. So Mr. Gills was the person that I forgot to thank. Was there anyone else?
God.
Yes. So, thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. All right, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that the next Commissioners' meeting is going to be next Thursday, April 7th at 10 a.m.
Thank you, ma'am. Legal.
No reports, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. All right, do we have any old business to come before this board? Any old business? Hearing none. New business. Do we have any new business?
Mr. President?
Sir.
I would just note that yourself, Treasurer Zern, and I visited Sweetberry in Wickliffe yesterday. The Treasurer's Office has been doing top 5 contests for various small businesses in Lake County, and the #1 grocery store is Sweetberry of Wickliffe. So I did my grocery shopping after we handled the formalities, but it's a wonderful place. If you've never been to Euclid Avenue, the property used to belong to, I believe, the Capelli family before they moved their business to Mentor, but Sweetberry has made excellent use of the space since, and they are definitely a fan favorite in Lake County as the #1 grocery store.
I think they had, what, 40, 50% of the overall vote went to them, if I remember?
50-some%.
Substantial. Very good, thank you. All right, if there's no other new business, this will bring us to our second public comment portion of our meeting. Is there anyone wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone at all? Very good, thank you. All right, and with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. This meeting stands adjourned.